Good afternoon. This is the Knox County Commission optional agenda review for Monday, October 21st at 3 p.m. Clerk, if you'll please call the roll.
Commissioner Rawls.
Present.
Commissioner Durrett.
Here.
Commissioner Oster.
Here.
Commissioner Jackson.
Here.
Commissioner Russell.
Here.
Commissioner Hill.
Here.
Commissioner Lee.
Here.
Commissioner Thompson. Commissioner Fox. Commissioner Jay.
Here.
Commissioner Frazier.
Present.
Thank you. Just to remind everybody that this is an optional meeting, no votes will be taken. Commissioners, we go through the agenda for any discussion items that you would like pulled. We will begin with number 12 and 13 because those are the applicants and I don't want them to have to wait through a whole entire meeting. So I'll open it up for any other agenda items. Wow, y'all have never been this quiet. Commissioner Durrett?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I do know it's on other business, but I would like to go ahead and discuss number 51 at some point.
51?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right now we're at 12, 13, and 51. Any commissioners have any other agenda items? Going once, going twice? All right. We will start with number 12, which we are going to start with the Knox County Sheriff's Office Employees Merit Board of Directors. I'm going to go in the direction or the order that we've got the applications. So we will begin with Mr. Johnson. If you will push that button right on the black box. Perfect. And just give your name and address for county of residence.
My name is Dan Johnson. I live at 1608 Greenwell Drive in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Thank you. And so what we're going to do, commissioners, is Mr. Johnson has applied for the Knox County Sheriff's Office Merit Board. So I'm going to give Mr. Johnson a few minutes, up to 5 minutes, to tell him a little bit about himself and anything he would like us to know, and then we will open it up to commissioners to ask questions. So, Mr. Johnson, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Appreciate everybody. Like I said, Dan Johnson is my name. I've lived here in Knoxville for 28 years now. I've been married for 36 years, have a son that is now 34. I am employed full-time. I do not have any political aspirations. Just through a friend of mine, Kenny Boatman, he has made me aware of the Merit Council. And so seems like a very good use, productive use of time. And just want to be able to give back to the community. So I'm involved myself with some different men's groups at church I lead, involved in the community that way. So this is another opportunity for me to be involved and to give back to the community. I appreciate all the service of the police force and all those that serve us and keep us safe. So just looking for an opportunity to be able to give back to them. So
that's awesome. Thank you. Do we have any questions from any commissioners? Commissioner Lee.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Johnson, thank you for applying. I know you said you wanted an opportunity to serve the community. Is there a particular reason that you think that you would want to serve on this board?
It kind of falls into something I've done in the past. Years in the past, I worked for the Department of Defense. I was a civilian quality assurance inspector, actually, working at a government. It was at Hughes Aircraft there. So I was actually on what we would call the Total Quality Management Board. So that was a board of government personnel like myself, quality assurance. That was the people there at Hughes Aircraft. It was the base commander and several different people. So we all met and did something very similar to this, review merit, promotions, things like that, as well as quality matters that were going on there at the facility.
Thank you for applying.
Thank you. Commissioner Jay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for applying, Mr. Johnson.
are you fully aware of the role and responsibility and the restrictions of being a merit service board member, and are you willing to both serve under those rules and regulations and comply with them as outlined in our ordinances?
I am.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Commissioner Rawls.
Commissioner Jay
Answered your question?
took my question.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
You take his next time. Any other questions for Mr. Johnson? Seeing none, thank you so much for your willing to serve the community. We appreciate it. And we will be making our decision next week at 5. So if you can be back, then we'll take the vote then.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. The next applicant is Mr. Williams.
Oh, wait, are you Williams? Yes. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Williamson. Mr. Williams, if you'll give your name and address for the record.
Good afternoon, Ashley Williams, 1700 Vander Ridge, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Perfect. And you have up to 5 minutes to tell us a little bit about yourself or anything you want us to know.
Thank you. Good afternoon, all. I became aware of this position and started really thinking back on different ways that I'd have committed to the community and I like to help back people up. I started going back through times that I've dealt with the Knox County Sheriff's officers. I do not know any of them personally. I don't know really any of them, except for when they come out in our community for various reasons. I talk to them and get to know them a little bit. And I've asked several of them, do you feel that you have backing when you need it? Some of them are yes, some of them are no. And I thought, this would be a really good opportunity to make sure that they do have good backing. Some of you know me in different areas of Knoxville. I'm a huge supporter of Knoxville, Knox County, and I just wanted to add one more way to possibly support.
Awesome. Thank you. Commissioners, we'll do the same thing. So would you have questions? Commissioner Lee.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Williams, thank you for taking your time out and applying. I'll ask you the same question I asked the previous gentleman. What would be your motivation, or why do you think you would want to serve on the merit board?
It's a good question. Things happen. A lot of times emotions get brought up, and you need to get to the actual heart of the matter, and emotions muddy that. So being able to sit back, take a look at what happened, was there just cause for it or not, and just make sure that decisions are made with the right information.
Are you still employed?
I'm retired.
Retired. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Commissioner Rawls.
Sir, thank you for your application. I mean, you've got a great background. So the question is, what value do you plan to bring to the merit board?
Clarity, the ability to look at all the facts, and if a decision's made to where action has to be taken, for or against an officer, then that's what I plan to do, and do it with the facts and not emotion.
Thank you. Commissioner Jay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for applying, Mr. Williams. Are you fully aware of the roles and responsibilities and the restrictions of being a board member on the merit service? And are you willing to both serve and comply with these as outlined in the ordinances?
I am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Seeing no other questions from commission, we will see you next Monday at 5 o'clock. Thank you so much for your willingness to serve. And our last applicant is Mr. Williamson. Dr. Williamson, I apologize for that. And if you'll state your name and address for the record, please.
I will. Is this microphone working?
It is.
Okay. My name is Robert Bruce Williamson, and my address is 1100 Burning Tree Lane, Knoxville. That's in the Cedar Bluff area. And I've been a resident and homeowner in Knox County since April of 2000. I have a few notes here just to make it easy to step through, but good afternoon to all of you, and thank you for the opportunity to apply for this position. I believe I have excellent qualifications for the position, and my profession is a professional economist, a writer, and a consultant on regulated industries. So to the question about am I currently employed, I say I'm semi-retired. While my family remained in Knoxville, I served a 6-year term of office as a state commissioner in the Maine Public Utilities Commission, which is an independent state agency with oversight of all telecom, electric, gas, and water utilities in the state. That amounts to several hundred companies. I had the same pay and code of conduct as judges in the state court system, and I served under 2 different governors from both parties, in those 6 years. We addressed almost 2,000 legal and administrative dockets in those 6 years, about 80% of which were significantly impacting utilities or customers, involving, in all of these dockets, involving public and recorded hearings in front of cameras. Our deliberations were, there was no pre-deliberation, so for example, we couldn't talk to our other commissioners at any time prior to making a public statement on our opinions. There are very strict rules about that. But under Maine's public record laws, those records are permanently archived in Maine. So if you're interested in how utilities are regulated or how an independent agency works or customer complaints are resolved in Maine, all those records are available to watch, and actually transcripts are available for those too. I accepted that nomination in Maine and went through the confirmation hearings with the state legislature because I believe in public service. It was an opportunity that came up. I thought about it long and hard versus staying here and working at UT, for example, or continuing as a consultant. But the idea of public service, even though it was a 6-year commitment out of state, was something that was very appealing to me. And also it appealed to me that I had to be independent, separate, nonpartisan from many of the many things that were going on in the state at the time. So to the other question that came up, I'm fully aware of the volunteer service characteristic of this director position, and I understand and agree with all the requirements for the position. And I also would like to say I have no real or potential conflicts of interest to report in this matter. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Lee.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Williamson, thank you for applying. And my question is similar to what I previously asked. What would be your motivation to want to serve on the Merit Board?
Sitting in Maine for 6 years, it gave me many opportunities to think about why on earth wasn't I doing this in Knoxville, Tennessee. So the idea has been in my mind for a while. This was an opportunity that opened up. I see the value of public service, particularly nonpartisan public service, even though you're bound to make enemies in the process of making a fair and judicious decision. And this seemed to be an opportunity to apply those same skills and that same dedication to the public, to my neighbors, my county, and citizens.
Thank you for applying.
No other questions. Okay. Well, Mr. Williams, thank you so much. We will see you back Monday at 5 o'clock.
Right.
Thank you so much for applying.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Commissioner Jay?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Are these all the applicants?
Yes.
Okay.
That's all we got. Now Commissioner Lee.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Has that closed as far as anybody else being able to
What day
apply?
did that close, Drew? The 11th. Close
Okay.
the 11th.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, we will go on to number 13, which is for the Ethics Committee. We have one applicant for that, and I will call forward Mr. Michael Biddle. And Mr. Biddle, if you will do what the other gentleman did, is give your name and address for the record.
Madam Chairwoman, good afternoon. Yes, Michael Biddle, 309 Governor's Lane, Farragut, Tennessee.
Thank you. And you have got up to 5 minutes to give a little bit of information about yourself and let us know what you want us to know.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon to all of you commissioners. Thank you for your service. Thank you for being here today. I currently am the executive assistant and secretary to Wendy Biddle, my beautiful wife. That's my current full-time job, and comes with the best compensation and enjoyment I could ever have. And for any of you that have met Wendy Biddle, you know I married way up. And I'd like that put into the record, Madam Chairwoman. I currently am Director of Men's Ministry at Dixie Lee Baptist Church, which I enjoy serving. All of these are unpaid positions and are things that I'm very passionate about. I also am blessed to serve on the Tennessee Board of Medical Examiners, and then also have been recently appointed to the Heritage Conservation Trust Fund Board by the governor. And I'll start that in a week, will be my first meeting. I really look forward to applying here, to hopefully serving the great county of Knox. This is our home. Our family has become very integrated and loves this community, not only Farragut, but the county as a whole. And my great-grandparents and grandparents helped bring me up. We have a close-knit family. And when my great-grandparents came here in 1916, they immediately volunteered and served this great country in many ways. And my great-grandparents and grandparents instilled in me that you give back to the greatest country that this earth has ever had, and that's the United States of America. So while we're new here in Knox County, 2 years, I don't feel like we're new here. This is home. I just humbly ask for your consideration for me to serve on the Ethics Committee. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
Thank you, Mr. Biddle. Do we have questions? Commissioner Lee.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Biddle, thank you for applying. And I just want to tell you I appreciate your work in the ministry and all that you do. And it says a lot that you brag on your wife the way you do. But thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Any other questions? Seeing none, Mr. Biddle, we will be voting on Monday next week at 5 o'clock. So we will see you back then. And I greatly appreciate you volunteering your time and energy to Knox County.
Madam Chairwoman, thank you all. Commissioners, we'll see you next Monday at 5.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item that has been pulled by Commissioner Durrett is number 51. Commissioner Durrett, would you like to speak to this?
Sure. Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioners, our Legislative Affairs Committee met a couple of weeks ago to finalize the legislative priorities we will be presenting to our delegation next Tuesday at our breakfast. Drusilla just emailed the final version to you. If you want to pull those up now, happy to talk about answer any questions or anything. We did whittle it down some. One of the things I did request as we were going through this for everyone to keep in mind is that, you know, our neighbors in East Tennessee are experiencing some significant losses, especially when it comes to transportation. So we kept our TDOT requests on there, but kind of with the expectation that a majority of TDOT money this year will be going towards our neighbors in East Tennessee to help their recovery efforts. But like I said, happy to answer any questions as the Legislative Affairs Committee Chair, or if not, we'll vote on it next Monday.
Thank you. Any questions for Commissioner Durrett? Again, that is going to be at 8 o'clock at Visit Knoxville, and we will have just a light breakfast. And I think all of our legislators are coming. I think we've got RSVP back that they're all coming. So, yeah, that'll be good. Do we have anything else to discuss? Yes.
Here we go. Okay, Madam Chair, I do have a few questions about the consent agenda, actually.
Okay.
The first, I would like to remove item 23 from the consent agenda.
Okay.
Next, I'm just curious about items 32 through 34 on the consent agenda. I think Commissioner Lee may well be able to speak to those particular items. I'm just curious about them because it involves the conveyance of Knox County property to a private company. I'd just like to hear a little bit more about it.
Okay.
I think that is all. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right, so we're going to look at 23 and then 32 through 34. All right. And who would like to speak to 23? Is that you, Commissioner Fox?
Well, I simply am requesting, I mean, I could have saved this with a direct request through the commissioner form, but I'm requesting that it be taken off the consent agenda list and
right
placed
now?
on the general.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Chris, were you coming forward for me?
Yeah, Chris Caldwell, 400 Main Street. We would need to defer 23 for 30 days. It coincides with the item number 35, the Tipton Station residential infrastructure development zones.
Okay.
And so you can, if you don't mind, we would request that you kind of pair those together and defer that.
Okay, so 23 and 35. We'll defer those until November.
Yes, and
Okay.
I guess while I'm here, on 35, because of state law, that requires a public hearing. We would request that probably do it at the November meeting like this, after this meeting prior to your zoning meeting.
Okay.
And Mr. Mark Mamatoff's going to review those with you all at your meeting, I think on the 7th. If I'm wrong, she can correct me. I think it's right, on the 7th. So you'll go over those then. Then you have your public hearing, then you all can vote on these in November.
Okay. Drew, can we make sure that we get that out for after the optional review? Okay, thank you. All right. So that puts us at number 32. And was this what, Commissioner Fox, is this what you wanted Commissioner Lee to speak to?
If she can,
Okay.
certainly.
Commissioner Lee.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioner Fox, I'm not sure if I'm the best one to answer this, but we sat at a meeting with the mayor and the railroad, and it's my understanding the county, we're not spending any money, and the county really doesn't have any jurisdiction over the railroad. That's just releasing what already belongs back to where it should be instead of keeping it on our books and that type of thing. Oh, well, we got somebody here that could better address that.
Perry Benchoff, Knox County Finance. You're right on. I just wanted to maybe elaborate to help you out a little bit. This isn't really conveying their assets. It's assets that belong to the Knox County Authority transferred to them. We're transferring them back. Basically, it was their original assets to start with, and it was through a grant that this all came about. So now we're just trying to clean this up and transferring their assets back to them.
Okay.
If that makes any sense. Yeah. Okay?
All right.
Thank you. Does that answer 33 and 34 for you, Commissioner Fox?
It does.
All right,
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Perfect. All right, well, seeing no other lights on and any other discussion, we will be back here at 5 o'clock for our zoning meeting.